Welcome to NAUI Talk. Today's session is a session on building and using QR codes for your marketing of your business, and as far as whether you're an independent, whether you're a store or a professional educator. Our guest speaker today is Quintin De Boer, NAUI's very own. You've met him before. He's been on our talks. He's one of the creators for our app. He's a very connected guy with NAUI, and we're just thrilled to have him here talking with us today. Again, remember, Q&A is top, bottom, and we'll get to them at the end of his presentation.
Thank you very much, Bill. So yeah, going to jump right into it. So today's topic is QR codes. Guys, guys, girls, everybody, firstly, welcome from around the world. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the next slide up. That's it. We're all good. What are we going to be covering? So firstly, we're going to chat about what is QR codes, a bit of history about QR codes, how you would actually scan a QR code, the anatomy of a QR code, static versus dynamic QR codes and some of the differences, then how to create a QR code, and we'll show you an actual demo, and then some common uses of QR codes with specific focus on the scuba industry, and then we'll allow for any questions. Again, if there's a question along the way, please pop it in the Q&A section as per Bill. So firstly, just guys, what is a QR code? So QR stands for actual quick response code. It is actually a two-dimensional version of the traditional barcode. So where a barcode only had data in the horizontal axis, the QR code now has data sort of encrypted or encoded, sorry, in both the horizontal as well as the vertical axis. It allows for the storage of much more information, up to 7,089 digits or 4,296 characters. Okay, it can encode anything like words, phrases, and even URLs. When we start to play with it, you guys can see it's really, really versatile. The more data that's stored in the QR code, obviously, the more complex and the bigger and the more complex the code becomes. And then also very, very important, and this is what makes QR codes and one of the design elements very, very useful, is up to 30% of the code can actually be damaged, okay, because there's a lot of repeat of the actual data and it would still be usable, okay. A little bit of short history on the QR code. The QR code was developed in 1994 in Japan by Masahiro Haro and two other engineers in his team, okay. It was originally manufactured by one of the subsidiaries of the Toyota manufacturing company, Denso Wave, and it was designed for the better tracking of the actual parts, because there was some shortcoming in the traditional barcodes. Okay, so they couldn't track where it came from. They wanted to add a huge amount of data actually to the barcode. Widely used today in all fields and industries. I'm sure all of you have seen some sort of QR code in some sort of packaging or something you've bought or on a pamphlet. Okay, how you would actually scan a QR code. Now, nowadays, mostly all the smartphones has got integrated QR code readers in the actual, basically the camera software. Typical examples would be Bixby Vision for Samsung, and then any Apple device running iOS 11 or later, it's integrated. Again, if you've got a smartphone and it doesn't for some reason have a QR code reader, there is numerous programs and a variety of programs for free available to download that you can actually have QR codes. Guys, I'm going to bore you a little bit with some technical detail, but it is quite nice to just understand this. So just bear with me. The anatomy of a QR code. So each QR code has got 7 unique elements. The first ones being the positioning detection markers that is located in usually 3 corners of the code, and it allows the scanner to recognize the code and read it at a high speed. Okay. Then you've got the alignment markers, which is actually found in the code. It also looks like a little block. It helps straighten out the QR code if it's sort of affixed to any curved surface. So it allows the QR code to be straightened out and actually then read by the scanner. Timing pattern would be the next one. The timing pattern is the alternating black and blue modules on the QR code. And the idea there is to let the scanner know how big the data is that they're going to receive. So it builds the data grid, as we would say, or give the scanner idea how big the matrix of the data is going to be that it's expecting to basically receive right now. Then you've got versioning information. Now there's 40 different versions of QR code, 1 to 7 being the most popular, but those little sections highlight there actually dictates to the scanner what version of encoding is being used. Okay. Format information. So the format information of the pattern that contains the error tolerance acceptance as well as the data mask to allow the scanner to know which little blocks to pick up in a very, very layman's terms. Then the data and error correction. So that mechanism there where it's highlighted there, that's where the actual data is actually stored. There's a lot of duplication of the data as well. That allows for up to 30% of the actual code to be damaged and it can still kind of be read. Lastly is what we say is the quiet zone. Okay, so it's a little white space in the block next to it. And that was what distinguishes the code when you affix it to any product. That little space needs to be there because it allows the scanner to easily identify where the code starts and stops, okay, along with the original alignment markers. There on the right-hand side is a complete QR code. You'll see, and we'll play around creating one just now with all seven elements being present. That one actually points to the NAUI.org website if you were to scan that specific QR code. Okay, static versus dynamic QR code. So you get, you can make a static code. Static is pretty much, as it says, self-explanatory. Once it's created, it's fixed and uneditable. The actual code itself that's generated is great for personal use. And there's a few examples of where you can use that QR codes. You can share Wi-Fi, you can pretty much bits. You can, if you receive Bitcoin payments these days, it's a new thing, cryptocurrency. Everybody's jumping on board. Plain text, you can up to 300 character message. You can have various virtual business cards as well as emails. We'll delve into that just a bit deeper just now. As for the dynamic QR code, so this is a QR code. A lot of people don't understand it. The code actually stays exactly the same, but it is linked to a URL in the back inside, which helps you track statistics, how many people have scanned it. You can then change the data in the background. You can pretty much, it is editable after it's created. There's some various uses of that code. You can use coupon codes. This is great for marketing for the guys to actually track statistics and use these statistics. Okay. How to create the QR code. So there's various different paid and free services available on the internet and a variety of modifications and customizations you can do. Now, some of the most popular code generators, there's a few URLs for you guys. I'm going to step you guys through creating a QR code just now. Typical example, guys, if you want to, let's say you want to create a QR code that's going to link and you want to supplement this to your course information. You can actually go to diver courses. Let's go to speciality. You can steal that URL there on top. You can enter this. We're creating a QR code for a URL. You can pop that in there. So that would be specialities. Just want to talk about statistics and editability. This one is the off. That would turn it into a dynamic QR code. Obviously, that would be a little bit of a paid service because you would then have to create an account because they actually give you a redirected URL, which will track all of this. Guys, and now you can just play a little bit. You can have color gradient. You can have a solid color. You can change, let's say, you can change it to red. You can have a different background color. We can add a little bit of a logo in there if you want to. So we can upload the image. We'll use the NAUI member logo. On the customized design, you can now choose if you want to have the regular QR code as you know it, a little bit more fancier patterns. Those alignment corners, and then the ball of the eyeball won't make a difference because we've added the logo. And then it's as easy as saying create the QR code. And about a few seconds later, there's your QR code. If you now scan this QR code, which you can save as well, you would then be redirected to the specialty course. Okay, now again, how would that work? If you ever in your classroom environment, you maybe want to give more information on a specialty course, you want to point them towards the NAUI website, you would create that. Again, as you can see in the top, you can have text, email, phone, you can create the business cards for yourself. There's really a multitude of uses, which we're going to discuss just now, but that is as easy as it is to kind of create a QR code. Most of the services kind of work the same. I quite like that specific service I've just showed you. It does allow for a lot of customization. Common uses in the scuba industry. Again, additional product information. What we mean with that is, should you have a retail store selling various different scuba brands and equipment, you might put a little QR code there next to the rack. Instead of having a salesperson there, you know, if it's scanned, you can bring up all the various product details and product information and benefits. Contact details, sharing business cards these days. If you affix it to a business card, it can immediately be stored in the phone as a contact. Class rosters, roll call. If you want to kind of make sure who's in the class, you can set up a QR code. Very good to kind of combine it with those smart forms. A previous NAUI talk that was previously, you can point them towards a smartphone, have them fill in a few details, and you can capture that. Trip info, you can point them towards checklists, what they need to remember for the trip, or various details that you want to share in the trip. Training videos, access, e-learning, social media sharing and engagement. You can basically share all your social media contacts, pages, all in one code. You can share photos as well. Again, course info like we just showed you guys. Promotions and discounts on next courses if you use dynamic codes, as well as website and traffic redirection. The nice thing about QR codes, it's usually got a call for action just underneath the code. So scan me. It does seem to, you can have the best website in the world. If you can't get the people to access the website, it doesn't help. QR codes does usually bridge that gap, and it's a very easy way to bridge that gap. So is there any questions?
I have one that I've got sent direct to me. It was, can you use the QR code to connect to a smart form that they could fill in, i.e. waiver?
Absolutely. So what you would do there is you would design the smart form, you would use the URL, pretty much as we demoed it now. You would just create a QR code to point towards that URL.
Well, it's a great topic, and I really appreciate that, Quintin. Thank you very much. I know I learned a lot from it, and I think it's something we can all utilize, and it ties in beautifully with some of the other sessions we were doing. Again, that one question about the smart forms ties right into one of our previous NAUI talks. And how do you get somebody to do it? Just scan it, goes to it. Once you're there, you can do anything you want. And that would be an example of a dynamic one, correct?
Well, you can actually use a static one. But again, if you want to have tracking in the backend side to see how many times that code has actually been scanned, you can use that as well. But just as pure them filling in the form, that would just be a landing page. So that would actually be the static version. So.
Oh, good. Well, anyway, thank you very much, Quintin. I appreciate the time you've given us today, and we've all gained some knowledge from it. Remember, everybody, that it will be on the YouTube channel, and the newsletter will have a link to that as well. 2 weeks from now, please tune back in. We're going to be dealing with a different topic. It's called the Mini 3 Marketing Plan. Every company needs marketing plans. Whether you're big or small, you could use the mini one. And this is just an example of something that you can do regardless of your budget, regardless of the size of your organization, regardless of what you're trying to achieve. This is a simple, easy plan that everybody can put in place. So your guest speaker on that one is going to be me. So I'll be talking about that session. And by all means, send us in your ideas. We're happy to put on discussions. We just need your ideas for them. They're all meant to be business building ideas where you can develop better sales, better profitability, and better efficiency for your business, whether you're an independent instructor, professional educator, or whether you're an actual physical store. We're there to help you. Remember to pass on these links. They're there for everybody to share. It's not top secret. We're at NAUI, dive safety through education. We've been here over 60 years, and we're a leader. So thank you very much for your time, and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you, and bye now.